What's going on, everybody, and welcome to the Other Side of the Firewall podcast. We talk about the latest and greatest in cybersecurity news, as well as we highlight those movers and shakers and glass ceiling breakers, those people of color who've made it to the other side of the proverbial firewall. My name is Ryan Williams, and as always, I'm joined by Shannon,
What's up? What's up?
and LeVon Maynard.
Welcome to the show.
What is going on? So welcome to the Wednesday discussion episode. So if this is your first episode, please go back and tune into Monday's episode where Shannon goes over Google's new $9.5 billion investment in new offices. Tuesday's episode, led by LeVon, discussed the Swiss Army knife of industrial hacking tools and just how CISA, the NSA, and a couple other agencies are trying to push out there like, hey, be on the lookout if you're part of the industry. There's this tool that makes people look like rock stars when they hack the power grid or what have you. So definitely check that one out. And then today, obviously, it's going to be the Wednesday topic. No Thursday Ask a CISP this week. That's usually we talk to somebody trying to break into the industry in the cybersecurity. I'm still trying to line up some guests. And then Friday, we talk about everything else. So movies, books, TV shows, video games, all that good stuff. So definitely tune in for that one as well. But we jump right into today's discussion. So I found this interesting article on the Daily Swig. It's titled Tearing Down Red Flags, Women in Cybersecurity's Lynn Dohm on Tackling the High Exit Rate of Female InfoSec Pros. There should be a comma in there somewhere, but basically the article, they do an interview with Lynn Dohm. She is the executive director of WiCyS, which is a organization that was established in 2012 to give female cybersecurity professionals the training, support, and career development opportunities needed to improve their what they state as unwelcome statistics, right? So it's women only make up 24% or so of all cybersecurity in the industry. And she discusses kind of like her start. So I think it's a pretty interesting article. You should definitely check that out. And then why WiCyS exists and how big WiCyS is, which I've definitely heard of the organization. I didn't realize how large they were. They're in 43 professional affiliates within Africa, Australia, Canada, France, India, Pakistan, the UK, and all through the US. They have 167 chapters. Like, they're a really big organization. But then she discusses how she came into cybersecurity at the age of 14 or 15. She's been, leading the charge for years now. But the most interesting part of the article, to me anyway, was that the statistic seems to be that women are leaving this sector at the age of 30 on average. So around the average age of 30, they're leaving cybersecurity, and why that may be. So I thought that to be very interesting. So I want to get your guys' thoughts about this. I wish we had a woman on the panel today. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to book or make that happen. So, we'll do the best we can with the panel that we currently have. But how do you guys feel about this?
Yeah, I think kind of reviewing through some of the stuff they talked about in the article, she described some of her thoughts on it as well. I'm trying to find that section, but she said that the interviewer asked her why does she think that they leave the sector at such a young age, and she mentioned the workplace culture stems from leadership down, and the culture of every employee is so unique. But traditionally speaking, there's perhaps a lack of resources, lack of job advancement opportunities, boredom, microaggression, and unconscious bias. So that right there, I mean, that says a lot. And I do feel that, I have, obviously female coworkers, and I've seen some negative behavior towards women in IT, and like something like the mindset that maybe women don't know as much as the guys, and they tend to I've seen people, other guys avoid talking to the female IT representative because they think that they may know less than the male version of them in the workforce. And I'm completely against that, obviously, and I think that's horrible. And it's but I've seen that before, and I think that kind of attitude can very well make a female IT somebody that's in IT that's female feel very like beaten down, feel disrespected, feel like not wanted, and perhaps and as a result leave the career field sooner than some others would. Um, but generally speaking, I'm sure that happens all the time. People don't see it. People probably don't pay attention to it. And as well as like the pay gap, I think she mentions that a little bit more in the article, a little bit later on, that there is obviously a known issue with pay gap. Women get paid less than males in various positions, even outside of IT, but I'm sure it hits hard in cybersecurity. And as we know, cybersecurity is already like a hard industry to find like quality, excuse me, quality individuals to fill the roles. So nonetheless, it's like I'm sure there's so much, I don't know, so much that women have to deal with in the IT industry, generally speaking. And it's sad to hear that a lot of people ending their career at 30 and might maybe find something else that they feel more interested in. I feel like they're more valued in. But yeah, it's sad to see. Hopefully, there's something more that can be done. Maybe there's be some more focus on these. I think all up. But it's been such a ongoing like topic. Just the women pay gap and women not being respected in the workforce. Like some people in the world feel that women should be working, staying home and taking care of the kids and all that kind of stuff, and shouldn't be working in like office buildings, things like that. So I think that's still like a mentality with some individuals out there. And I'm sure that kind of trickles down into the cybersecurity industry as well. But I'll leave it at that. But what are your thoughts on this one as well, Shannon?
So yeah, man, I'm right there with you, man, and like on a lot of the things you said, right? And like even when it comes to having heard some of that stuff, and I've kind of questioned when I've heard, you'll hear these guys that make statements about women and whatnot, and I'm like, well, why do you feel that way? Like, why do you think that is? You know what I mean? Like, it doesn't make sense that, you know, it would be different for them this way than it would be for a man, and then it's one of those things where they kind of get uncomfortable and walk off, right? Like, it's like when you challenge them on it, it's kind of like whatever, then just walk off or whatever.
Right.
But like, yeah, it's like it's sad to see that, and to be honest with you, like I don't know if that's just specific to the cybersecurity world, right? Like that may be a number they picked up on, but like I read other things where it comes to sexist comments and things like that when it comes to women.
Yeah, about that.
Like they're always considered crazy if they're having a bad day or if they flip out or something like that. Oh, they're just crazy, you know what I mean? But like a man does it. Not exactly, it's not the same thing, right? It's he's just venting, he's just doing whatever. But women don't get the same benefit of the doubt, right? Another thing that came to mind, and I hope this doesn't come off as sexist. I don't want to say this to make this come off as sexist, but when you think about the age of 30, right? That's probably close to around where some of these women that have started to make a career in cybersecurity, they start having children as well, right? So like they start dealing with all these microaggressions and things like that. Then they have young children at home, and to them they're kind of like, it's not worth it. You know what I mean? I'd rather go spend the time with my children, have fun with them, do whatever I need to do with them, or pursue a different path than go back to a job that doesn't seem to appreciate me anyway. You know what I mean? It's just I don't know. It's a sad state of affairs, and I say that having two daughters, you know what I mean, and hoping they don't have to go through. I hope the world gets better for them, as time goes on, but I'm not that confident that it will, to where women are gonna be treated better than what they are now, right? It's been going on for how long? You know what I'm saying? So what's to say it's gonna change in a generation? You know what I mean? 2 generations, for my youngest, but it's just not. I'm not confident that it will. I want to be hopeful that it is, but yeah, I think like when she hit on the microaggressions and stuff like that, I think that's probably mostly what it is. But Ryan, what's your thoughts, man? What are you thinking on this?
Yeah, I completely agree. Because so I see it from the perspective of being in the military. So it's a little bit more, I would say, fair and balanced, only because their rules and the rules are you're supposed to treat everybody the same, right? Everybody is equal. Everybody is a valued member of the team, but you still see it. You still see the microaggressions and things of that nature. Most of these career fields that deal with IT don't have a lot of women in them, so it's very similar to the private sector where you see only 24%, which is still, and that's growth. So it's still a small number, but that's them almost doubling over the past decade, and getting women into cybersecurity. So you still see it on this side as well. Same thing with cyber, but it seems to be more women, I would say, uh, fulfilling these roles in the military than it may be on the outside because of the trying to treat people fair, trying to keep things balanced. But you still see the microaggression. You still see people going to more of their male colleagues than the female colleagues, but who are still super sharp and understand the roles, and uh, in a lot of cases outperform their male counterparts. So I could see that too. Like you're out of college or you've been in the industry for 4 to 6 years, right? Because a college graduate at the age of 30 has probably been out of college for like what, 6 years or something like that.
8 years or
Where he
something.
just yeah, 8 years maybe, just like, yeah, it's not for me. Like always having to fight that uphill battle. I could see that wearing you down. You just like, you know what, I'll go on to something else, which is a shame because we have so many vacancies. Like that's a huge knowledge dump that we're going through, where they're just like, okay, I don't want to pursue this any longer. But how much have we lost in in years, right? If you take 8 years times how many women have gotten out, it could hundreds of years of knowledge being lost just because you make the fight so hard. Uh, but I also say transparency on salary. Like I see some states now have where they have to post how much the salary range is, or the pay range or pay band for a job, and that kind of helps level the pay gap to a certain extent. Um, I think that needs to be more broadened. That should be almost at a federal level. Like, why are they able to hide the pay bands and force you to negotiate? Because I saw a statistic where males are more likely to negotiate and get what they want than women are for the same job. Right? It's just cultural. You know, and the environment. It's certain attributes that cause that to happen, and it's completely unnecessary. Like you didn't save that money, you're just going to give it to someone else now. Like, so now you hire somebody, it builds the disparity, right? You hire a woman for, let's say, 160,000 for a position, but you hire the man for 200,000. Like one day they're going to figure it out, and that's going to cause them to be like, all right, well, I'm gonna move on to another company who values me and my time and respects my skills and what I deliver to the team, as opposed to just paying them fairly and keeping and retaining the talent. So I do see that being an issue as well. So it hopefully it changes. Like you said, you have two daughters. I have a daughter. She kind of interested in IT, but not really. It's not really her thing. But um, it would be the same thing, right? Like she would come into the industry, and then people would just not value her time or respect her knowledge. So we definitely have to fix that. And I think organizations like WiCyS definitely uh, help with that charge, getting people in the right positions, like helping women get into cyber, then helping them to negotiate and find employers that will pay them, you know, what they're worth. So hopefully that tends to keep them in and keep the knowledge into the industry, because at that point you're wasting their time, as well as you're wasting money, like because you put a lot of money into these individuals just to push them out eventually. So it doesn't even make sense from a business perspective. Um, but we'll see. Things are changing. 24% still pretty low, but like we talk about our whole thing with the platform for people of color, um, we've seen growth, right? It used to be 9%, 10%. So we're growing as well. Same thing with women, like it's almost doubled in a decade. So things are changing. It's just slow, very slow progress, which is frustrating. But with that being said, definitely a great topic, great discussion. Hopefully, we brought some value to it, even though it's three dudes and talking about it. You know, we definitely value our female counterparts in the industry, and hope that continues to grow and things become more equal, more equitable for everybody involved, right? Um, Continue to tune in. Definitely check out Monday, Tuesday's episode. No Thursday episode this week, but definitely Friday. I got a new game console, so we can talk about that. I've finally hit next gen-ness. So definitely tune in for Friday's episode. And then like, share, subscribe, share us with your friends. I've seen a little bit more traffic. I'm seeing a little bit more shares on Twitter, things of that nature. So definitely keep that up. Hit up all of our social medias. They're all our names. So the other side of the firewall podcast. Definitely hit me up personally. I'm at Security Guy. That's RYRY Security Guy. I'm on Clubhouse, LinkedIn, Twitter, and TikTok. And you, LeVon?
Yes, sir. You can hit me up on the Twitters at LeVon Maynard.
There it is. Stay safe. Stay secure.
Take care.